What's up, aspiring sea monster hunters? This is Ajax Savage here. I decided to make a video with a few tips and guides for anything you need to get started sea monster hunting. This is a really fun thing to do. I have to admit, it's very slow paced, but you get used to it. You get used to it, and it can be a lot of money, which translates to payouts, other things. But basically, this is what you need to do to get started. Okay, I'm going to walk through a couple tips. The first thing I want to mention is definitely the sailing dailies. If you're not leveling up your sailing experience with sailing dailies every day, if you're trying to be a sailor, then you're doing it wrong. Basically, there are 7 dailies total. I'm going to run through them real quick. The first 3 you can pick up from, I believe his name is Croy, but he is the wharf manager in Velia. Okay, there's 3 of them. You pick them up from him, and then you run to Portaferia and pick 3 more up from the Imperial Fishing Delivery NPC in Portaferia. Okay, there are 3 more there. Now, the 7th one is tricky and oftentimes avoided, but it's in Port Rat. A lot of the times I go out and I do these 3, these 6, and on my way here I unload and I pick up the Port Rat daily. I'll explain that in another video, but basically you have to talk to the Guild Wharf Manager in Port Rat, which is over here on the left side of the area, and you have to pick up a moon trade item, which there are 4 options. Again, I'll talk about it later, but again, after you talk to this guy, it's very important you talk to the NPC again and pick up the item that you're supposed to take and give to another NPC. Okay, so basically, before I get started sea monster hunting, I want to show you just a couple tricks, things that are going to help you maneuvering your boat. So I don't have a great setup. I don't have, more than 60 frames per second, so I can't do things like camera lock and, turn my boat really, really quickly. You guys may not know what that means, but essentially it doesn't matter because I can't explain to you how to do it anyway. I'm going to explain to you how I can maneuver. The first trick, and this is very important. You got to go to your interface. You go to mouse interface, and you want to turn on your mouse to move button or option. Once you apply that and confirm it, when you can see this a lot better on land, but when you bring up your mouse mode, as opposed to see, did I turn it off? Okay, as opposed to just cursor coming up, it does things like, ping areas that you can, like, essentially you click and you move. But you don't really use that. You use, I guess, sort of an exploit in that system. The first thing I want to do is show you the dismount 180. So basically you want to come to a complete stop on your boat, and you stand right next to the helm and turn on mouse to move. Okay, now you want to put this on the back of your boat, and this is a timing issue, and it may take a few minutes or a few tries to get it, but once you get it down, it's pretty useful. Now you want to mount your boat using whatever key it is. Mine's default, it's R. I'm going to mount my boat, and about half a second later, before I fully take control, I click the back of my boat. I'm going to show you what it does. Boom. It just flips me. It just completely flips me. Boom. Alright, that's a very useful trick. Now, the only annoying part is that you have to dismount your boat. But again, that can be maneuvered around. Now, the second thing is kind of a moving 180. This is if you're, this is useful a lot of the times if you need to do a quick turnaround while you're moving and you don't want to stop and dismount your boat and lose, your velocity or whatever. So basically, this does involve mouse to move as well. You want to use, now this is a skill you're going to have from the beginning of your sailing career. From beginner 1, you're going to get RAM. Alright, RAM is Q. you have to be moving forward in order to ram. So basically, to start it from a standstill, you need to press Q and W. And at the same, not the exact same time, but shortly afterwards, you bring up mouse to move, and you click somewhere on like the back sides of your boat, depending on which direction you want to turn. Then you leave mouse to move up. You don't try to adjust the camera or anything. You just wait. I'll show you. And then it glitches like completely around. Alright, so say I'm just kind of sailing along here, and I don't know, I see this stalker, and I guess I don't want to do a 180 super slowly. I just want to get there. And that's the thing, you can cut it off whenever. I cut it off right there. I turned mouse mode off, and it stops my boat. Now I guess that wasn't necessarily a functional 180, but it still is a lot quicker, I think, than just turning like this. If you just turn with the arrows or with the mouse, it's a lot slower than if you do so by this. And again, you have the added benefit of jumping all the way around if you need to. Alright, so now that I've got that out of the way, I'm going to show you, this is a stalker. These guys are a little bit more annoying than heckaroos. They're my favorite and by far the easiest to kill. But basically, first of all, you're going to need to get green gear, and you're going to need to get it to +5 at least. That's what you should have to be out here sea monster hunting. That's basic gear. If you're not doing it with that, it's going to take you too much time, and it's not going to be worth it. That being said, blue gear is where it's at, but you got to be out here sea monster hunting for the parts to make the blue gear. Alright, so I'm going to kill this ocean stalker, and my first intuition was to use cannons on these things, but you basically, when you're solo, you want to be ramming these guys just 100% of the time, and you kind of get a feel for about how long the ram takes. Excuse me. But there is a there's the little video thing was over to my mini map. There's a ram cancel, excuse me. There's a ram cancel using Q, which is the same button used to ram, that once you start the ram like this, right before you hit the monster, you press and hold Q, and you will stop your ram. If you don't know, when you do ram, it's kind of a determined distance that you're going to ram, so you have to be like the exact perfect distance away from the sea monster in order to land your ram. If he's too close, you'll for some reason just glide right over him and then ram nothing. So it was very frustrating in the beginning. I was just, it was a lot of waiting and just waiting for these things to attack me and then turn around and do their little aggro motion. But being able to cancel the ram is very useful, because you can essentially hit your target whenever. And when you start off, you may not have knowledge on these guys. I believe knowledge comes from a quest line. I think it's like the Great Ocean or something like that. But if you don't have knowledge on them, you're obviously not going to be able to see their health tick down. It doesn't tick down percentage-wise like a bar. It just changes colors. I have knowledge on him, so you will be able to see. We'll be able to see it change as we go. This guy should take me, I don't know, roughly about 4 minutes. I would assume hackaroos I can do a lot quicker, especially when I'm really focused. Back attacks are crucial, but different sea monsters have different shape hitboxes, and I think stalkers have an iframe, if I'm not mistaken. But it sort of makes it difficult to land like true back attacks. At least that's what other guildies have told me. Another thing you may or may not know is something you need to bring along with you sea monster hunting. You always need to have cannons in your inventory. You can buy those from wharf managers. Um, because if you're out there sailing in the open ocean like we are now and a ghost ship pops up, I'm sure you've had it happen. If you've ever been out to sea, you've had it happen. It takes you off of your helm and you can't mount your boat until it's gone. I mean, it's never happened to me yet, but you know, one day I'm gonna get, I call it getting ghosted, and I'm not gonna have any cannons. I guess I'm just gonna have to swim from there. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but always have cannons, and definitely come with ship repair material. You can process repair material from any type of plywood. Obviously, the most useless type of plywood is the best type. I believe elder tree is probably where it's at. So there's another little trick with this mouse to move is say you miss this. Yeah, wow. Say you miss this guy with like your prow. If you have mouse to move active, I'm going to purposely miss him to the side. I'm going to pull up mouse to move, and this is going to, yeah, see that little sword? See, I can hit him while he's over there. Isn't that ridiculous? But that's another little trick. I don't have my pets out. I guess I'll swim. That was an over-rotation. Yeah, I'm trying to use my tricks here, and for some reason they're not working out for me, of course, right, when I'm trying to show them off in a video. This stalker is being kind of abnormal, to be honest. His movement patterns are strange. You'll find that these guys are very repetitive. They attack and then they swim away and turn around and attack. This guy seems like he's got a little sass to him. But I mean, you can see at the top his health bar is almost, I mean, he's down to probably, I would call it 20% health. I just don't get why he turns around so early. Oh, there it is. Yeah, he was a lot less than 20% when I said that. Okay. Normally your pets would collect these. Okay, so cool. It's 3.6 million. It's 42. It's plus another like 400,000, something like that. Yeah, like 4 mil for the guild, like 4 minutes, whatever it was. But that's, you know, that's the gist of it, you guys. I'm sure there will be more to come. If you have any questions, definitely ask me. Taking down gold gold ships and other types of sea monsters are a little bit different. A lot of those, especially when you start out, are going to require other players, and you certainly fight sea monsters differently when you have more boats out here. But for now, this is just a kind of a solo guide, just to kind of get you guys started. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned. Just let me know if you have any questions.